The iPhone 17 lineup is here, and if you're unsure whether to pre-order the iPhone 17 or the iPhone 17 Pro, here are not 5, not 10, but 25 differences you should know before buying. First up, we have the design. And if you want people to know that you have the latest iPhone, then you gotta go with a Pro, since it rocks an entirely new back design, with a new camera bar, which Apple calls the camera plateau. And it also gets a lowered Apple logo, just like our renders from before. The second thing you should know is when it comes to the colors. The regular iPhone 17 comes in this beautiful mist blue, lavender, sage, white, and of course black. Whereas the Pro iPhone only comes in two special colors, cosmic orange and deep blue, which looks very similar to the iPhone 15 Pro's blue titanium, of course in addition to the standard white. And that's it. There's actually no black color at all with a Pro iPhone this year, making it the first iPhone in over 13 years that doesn't come in a shade of gray or black. The only two iPhones that ever shipped without a black color were the first iPhone and the iPhone 5C. At number 3, we have the finish. The Pro models have moved from titanium to aluminium, just as expected. Oddly enough, the only iPhone that is built with titanium is the iPhone Air, but more about that in the next video. So both the iPhone 17 and the iPhone 17 Pros are built with aluminium, although Apple refers to the Pro models as having an aluminium unibody, with the entire back shell being sculpted from a single block of aluminium, with the glass patch on the back being there for wireless charging, and that's it. Which, by the way, is also protected by ceramic shields, but not the new Ceramic Shield 2, which only covers the front. More on that later. But really, the biggest differentiating factor when it comes to choosing between the standard iPhone 17 and any of the Pro models is the camera. And it's actually more than just that extra lens on the back. But let's start with that extra lens. The regular iPhone 17 does not have a telephoto zoom module. Instead, it only lets you do the sensor crop trick introduced with the iPhone 14 Pro, letting you zoom at 2x at a lossless quality. Whereas the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max, they both have a new 48 megapixel telephoto module that can zoom at 4x at the full 48 megapixel resolution of the sensor, or to 8x at 12 megapixels. Now, when it comes to the main camera, despite having the same resolution number, the Pro actually has a larger sensor, but a slightly wider field of view, equivalent to 24mm as opposed to 26 on the standard iPhone 17. It also comes with LiDAR for improved portraits and autofocus. However, the Ultrawide looks to be exactly the same between the two, as the vanilla iPhone 17 finally gets an upgraded 48 megapixel Ultrawide. At number 8, the entire lineup also gets a brand new center stage 18 megapixel selfie camera that has finally been upgraded from the previous 12 megapixel that the iPhone has had ever since the iPhone 11. And the cool thing about this is that it uses a new 1x1 square sensor, which enables some really cool tricks, such as the ability to take landscape selfies while holding the iPhone in portrait mode. They also get something called dual capture, essentially the ability to shoot both front video and back video at the same time. Now, let's take a look at the video recording. The new Pro models get ProRes RAW, not to be confused with ProRAW, which is for photos, or ProRes Log from last year, which also got upgraded to ProRes Log 2. But back to ProRAW, this is Apple's professional video codec designed for capturing and editing raw video data. So think of this as a hybrid between traditional RAW for images and Apple's widely used ProRes video format. Of course, the regular iPhone 17 doesn't get this at all, or ProRes Log, or 4K 120 FPS recording, or the new Dolby Vision, or even the studio quality for microphone array, or support for GenLock, which is short for generator locking, which is a new synchronization method used in professional video and broadcasting systems. And a quick shout out to UGREEN for their MagFlow chargers that support Qi 2 25-watt wireless charging for the new iPhone 17s. This pocket-sized 25-watt 10,000 mAh UGREEN MagFlow magnetic power bank is packed with power and versatility, making it perfect for long trips. That's because it's got a built-in two-way 30-watt fast-charging cable, which also doubles as a carrying strap. And on top of that, you can top the battery pack quickly or even charge multiple devices via this additional USB-C port. Then, UGREEN's MagFlow 2-in-1 25-watt wireless charger declutters your desk or bedside table with this clean design that charges your iPhone and AirPods super easily, making the standby mode on the iPhone look super awesome too. There's even a spare port for your Apple Watch charger. So check out Amazon or UGREEN's website for an early bird offer of 34% by using the links below. Now, the 11th difference you should know is that there is a performance difference between the two. The Pro models of the iPhone come with the A19 Pro chip as opposed to the standard A19. Now, Apple hasn't really disclosed any performance differences between the two, but what we do know is that the iPhone 17 has a 6-core CPU and a 5-core GPU as opposed to a 6-core CPU and a 6-core GPU on the Pro model. So we do get one extra GPU core with the Pro models. At number 12, Apple hasn't mentioned the amount of RAM, but they have mentioned that the Pro models do have more memory. So likely 12 gigabytes as opposed to 8 in the standard iPhone 17, like the leaks suggested. But by far, to me, the most exciting upgrade to the standard iPhone 17 model is 120Hz ProMotion. Finally! Not only that, but it also comes with the adaptive refresh rates from the Pro models, LTPO, as well as even always on. In fact, the base iPhone 17 also gets a massive bump in outdoor brightness from 2000 nits all the way up to 3000. And also the new ceramic shield 2 on the front, which is 3 times more scratch resistant than the first version of ceramic shield. And of course, the Pro models also get that 3000 nit brighter screen, which means that no matter which version you choose, you actually get the exact same display quality. In fact, both also get the brand new 7-layer anti-reflective coating, which I'm thinking is actually very similar to what Samsung has done with their S25 Ultra. Then the iPhone 17 also gets a larger display with thinner bezels, growing from 6.1 inches on the 16 to 6.3, just like the iPhone 16 Pro and 17 Pro. In fact, I'm fairly confident that the displays between the iPhone 17 and the 17 Pro are actually identical, something that Apple has never done before, as the non-Pro models have always had an inferior screen. Okay, now let's talk about the batteries, which have both been improved. So on the iPhone 17, we have 30 hours of video playback. On the 17 Pro, we have 33, and then on the 17 Pro Max, we have 39, which is insane, as this is up from 22 hours on the regular 16, 27 hours on the 16 Pro, and 33 hours on the 16 Pro Max. That means we're getting an 18% increase in battery life on the 17 Pro Max, 22% on the 17 Pro, and 30% on the 17 if you're upgrading from the 16. Now, here's an even more interesting one. The Pro iPhones sold in the US, as they're now eSIM only, have a larger battery by about 5%, or roughly 2 extra hours of video playback compared to, let's say, the UK models that still come with a physical SIM slot. I honestly wish that we could just pick the version of the iPhone that we want, because personally, I don't really care about having a physical SIM, but I definitely do care about those 2 extra hours of battery life. Oh, by the way, these batteries are encased in metal this year, just like the smaller Apple Watches. 19, we also get faster charging speeds, unlocked by the brand new Apple 40-watt power adapter that apparently peaks at 60 watts. This enables you to charge the new iPhones from 0% to 50% in around 20 minutes, down from 30. Oh, and if you're thinking of ordering any new iPhone 17 model, make sure to check out our app Wallpapers for the best quality wallpapers on the market. I'm not even kidding. We offer full 8K resolution, 1x1 with 0 ads, and you also get to pick from over 200 designs that are available to download for free. Link down below. At number 20, we finally have a vapor cooling chamber on the iPhone. However, this is only on the Pro models. So if sustained performance in games and video editing apps is something that you absolutely need, then the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max are the way to go. The move to aluminum was also allegedly made to help with heat dissipation, as according to Apple, aluminum is 20 times better at thermal conductivity than titanium. And these two changes lead to a 40% better sustained performance compared to the 16 Pro models. We're also getting a brand new Apple-designed N1 chip, which enables Wi-Fi 6, more efficient Wi-Fi 7, and Thread support on both models, by the way. And we also get some new cases, such as tech-woven and silicone cases with buttons that feel much nicer when pressed, and a brand new cross-body strap that can connect directly to these cases. There's also a new and slimmer MagSafe battery pack that has finally been updated after 5 years, although it seems to only work with the iPhone Air. Interestingly enough, the regular iPhone 17 does not get any of the new tech-woven cases, so if you really want to use those, you'll need to go with the Pro models. The same goes for if you want to transfer large video files from your iPhone, as the standard iPhone 17 only supports USB 2.0 speeds at 480 megabits per second, as opposed to 10 gigabits per second with the Pro models, or 20 times faster. And of course, another big difference is the price. Surprisingly, against all odds and leaks, they have the exact same prices as last year. Even better, while the iPhone 17 starts at the same $799 price point, it now comes with double the storage at $256. Now, the 17 Pro does get a bit more expensive by $100, now costing $1099, but then Apple also doubled the storage to $256, so it technically costs the same as the iPhone 16 Pro 256 version from last year. And the iPhone 17 Pro Max keeps the same $1199 price point at the same 256GB capacity. So with the pre-order starting this Friday, which one should you consider getting between the 17 and the 17 Pro/17 Pro Max? Well, the price difference is pretty huge, $300 extra if you want to go for the 17 Pro. Yes, you get the same amount of storage, you also get the same ultrawide camera, a fairly similar main camera, almost the same CPU performance, you get the same display, which is really nice, like you even get the same front camera. So then what's different? What does that extra $300 give you? Well, you do get a third 48 megapixel telephoto camera, you get a larger sensor for the main camera, you also get LiDAR, you get USB 3.0 speeds on the USB-C port, you get a new unibody design, you get a lot more video features like 4K 120, ProRes RAW, not even to mention the cinematic mode, a 10% battery life compared to the standard model, a thicker phone, vapor cooling chamber, a new 2TB option for the Pro Max, although for a crazy price, and of course support for the tech woven cases. Is that worth $300? I would say no, especially since we finally get 120Hz, always on, and even the same brightness as on the 17 Pro. In fact, this is the very first year when I can comfortably recommend the base model to everyone, unless you really want the bigger 6.9-inch display size of the 17 Pro Max, alongside its even longer battery life, although this is even more expensive. Of course, there's also the iPhone Air to consider, but we will have a dedicated video coming on that tomorrow, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. And as always, do check out our app Wallpapers for some awesome designs for not just the iPhone 17s, but literally any device you've got, including tablets, laptops, and yeah, literally anything. I'm Daniel, this is ZONEofTECH, and stay tuned for more. ZONEofTECH, signing out. Cheers.